Hey KR Squad, it's your girl Kelsey and I'm back at it again with another video for you guys. So for today's video, I decided that I wanted to show you guys how I edit my Instagram photos because, let me tell ya, my Instagram journey has been a lot. It's been up and down, through and through, all around, loop-de-loop. I've tried so many different apps, so many different techniques, so many different things to try to get the perfect aesthetic. And trust me, it's been a journey. It has been a serious journey to find the perfect aesthetic. So if you actually go on my Instagram quickly, you'll see that I recently just started creating this look. Which I absolutely love, like the colors and how everything comes together and how my skin looks super tan. It's definitely a look that I'm obsessed with, and I'm really happy with this filter and this aesthetic that I have created. So if you guys want to see how I edit my Instagram photos and the apps I use, please continue watching. If you do like this video, please don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel down below and click that little bell button so you're notified every time I post a video. And without further ado, let's get into the video. So the first thing I'm going to start off by telling you guys is the different apps that I use to edit my photos. So the first one to start off with is Lightroom. That is the first app that I use. The next app is Facetune if I need to fix anything, get rid of anything. That's the second app I turn to. The next app is Retouch, and that is if I have like people in the background or an object in the background that I need to get rid of. Like for example, sometimes when I'm editing my thumbnails, I use Retouch to like get rid of like the doorknobs there and stuff like that. And then the last app that I like to use is ColorTone. That is my holy grail app to get my photo from looking like this to this. So that's my holy grail app. So for this tutorial, I'm going to show you how I edit this photo, which is my most recent photo on Instagram. I chose this one because it has a lot more color in this photo, and I wanted to show you guys how I take it from being like super bright to like dulling it down a little bit where it still looks really pretty, but it's not as like in your face and like super bright. So the first thing I'm gonna do is grab my laptop because I use my laptop to edit in Lightroom. You can get Lightroom on your phone to edit, but personally I just don't like using Lightroom on my phone, so I just start with my laptop. The first thing I'm going to do is go to my photo album. I already saved my photo in my favorites because that's what I always do first. What I do now is just drag it to the side and drop it onto my desktop. Once I'm done with that, I would just go out of that and then go to the app Lightroom. I'm going to go to the Lightroom library and then I'm going to click import. Then I'm just going to drag that photo and then import it into Lightroom. Then we're going to go to develop. So now that we're here, what I'm going to do is the first things I start off with is the basic section, and this is where I just like lighten, brighten, darken, whatever I want to do with the image. I do it in this section here. So the first thing I start off with is, so I go to my blacks and then I click option on the keypad and then I just drag it down. So that white screen will come up and then you just drag it to adjust your blacks. Perfect. I play around with this. Next thing I do is just adjust my temp, and I like to take that down to about 7 depending on the photo. Then shadows, I bring the shadows up. Highlights, I usually bring it down a little. Because when you bring it up, you see that the clouds in the top here kind of disappear and it just turns like one white background, but I don't want that, so I still want the blues in it. So you can see there, when I turn it down, the blues are there. And then for saturation, I'll probably bring that up to about like 2, and then vibrancy, I bring that up a little bit. We'll do like 20 for now. Next thing I go on to is my HSL, which is the hue, saturation, luminosity, color, and black and white. So I'll just start off with like saturation, and I'll just kind of play around with that color, adjust the greens, adjust the blues. We're not going to do a lot. Hue, adjust it a little bit, green, and then luminancy, I think I'm pronouncing that right. We'll just adjust that a little bit. Perfect. The details, I just play with that a little bit. I don't do anything that's too much. Then we'll go to lens correction. What's nice about lens correction is that depending on what camera you're using, you're able to go and click on that and it'll adjust the image to whatever that camera is supposed to be. So I use a Canon camera, so it adjusts. I don't know if you guys saw that, but it adjusts a little bit. So then when I'm done here, I'm gonna go to File and I'm just going to export the photo. Then I'll just name the photo Kelsey 1 and then boom, it's done. So we are done with Lightroom and I'm now going to move on to my phone. So what I'm going to do now is grab my phone and open it up, and then I will open up AirDrop on my laptop. Oops, cannot spell. And then I'm going to go to my file here, and then I'm going to drag my photo and just AirDrop it to my phone. Okay, so now that I have my photo here, I'm just going to go into Retouch. So that is the first app I like to use. So Retouch is amazing for getting rid of anything that you don't want in your background, and that's why I love this app so much. So I'm just gonna go into my albums, pick my photo, and then let's get started. So the first things I'm going to work on is like getting rid of all these lines in my photos on the balcony. And like some of the parts are like really white and ugly. Some of the stuff is just like very unattractive for a photo. So I'll just get rid of that completely. So I'm gonna start with going to Object Remove, and I'm just going to remove the lines on the balcony so it's just like seamless. Good to me. So now I'm just going to save as a copy and then move on to the app Facetune. This app is amazing for just like cleaning up stuff as well. So the first thing I'm going to go to is the Smooth app, and I'm just going to smooth out this balcony. And I know some of you guys would be like, oh my gosh, this is like a process, but it's just to get the photo to look exactly how I want it to look. You don't have to do this process. So once I smooth out the balcony, I'm just gonna click OK or check mark to move on. Another thing I like to do is just whiten my teeth a little bit. My teeth are pretty white as it is. Like I don't need to, but I just love the crystally white teeth. So I'm just gonna go in and just lightly rub over my teeth with the whitener, just like so. Oops. And that's it. Now I'm going to just save that photo to my camera roll. And now I am going to move on to the app ColorTone. ColorTone is where I get that actual color for my Instagram aesthetic that I absolutely am obsessed with right now. So we're going to click on my photo, and then in the bottom corner over here you'll see that little colorful square. You're going to click on that. That's going to take your photo into the editing portion. So for me personally, the purpose of just getting my photos edited as quickly as possible, I did create a preset for this which I call Outside, which is the one I believe I used for this photo actually, because I'm outside, so it gave me a more it just worked better with the outside environment. My live photo is usually the ones that I use when I'm inside because it's not as bright and it's not as much light being shown, and like greenery and blue and all that stuff. So if you go on my Instagram, you'll see that my first photo is plain with just the edit on it. Then my second photo has the grain on it. And then my third photo has the grain on it. So what I would do is go to my filters. These filters that I have though, you do have to purchase them. I think it's like $5 or $6 for like a set of, so you get 8 of them, and it was like $5 for the set of 8. So I did purchase that, but it's up to you if you want to, if you don't. There's a bunch of different presets, and these ones are all like vacation destinations. So there's like Maldives, Uluwatu, which I believe that's how you pronounce it. That's in Bali. There's Bora Bora, Fiji, and like just a bunch of like different ones. The one that I use personally is the Uluwatu one, which is this guy here, and then I just play around with how light, how dark I want. So that's what I use to achieve the filter that I currently have. And since it's outside, I'll leave it a little higher. Normally I would drop it down lower to about like 40, 45-ish. Then I would go to my shadows. I'd play around with that a little bit. If I wanted to add the grain, I would as well. I don't love to add the grain all the time because then it just becomes too much. But if I add the grain, you can see that it does change my photo lighting as well. So then I would have to go back and adjust my lighting, because without the grain, the picture is like bright and it's to my standard. But once I add the grain in it, my photo starts to become darker. Now what I'm going to do is just save the photo. I would export it, save. Perfect. Then I would just open it back up on Instagram, adjust it to however I want to adjust it, and that's literally it. I have my Instagram peak. Okay guys, so that is it for how I edit my Instagram photos. I really hope this video was helpful, useful, and I hope you guys like the aesthetic that I'm trying to go for and trying to build on at the moment. If you guys did enjoy this video, please don't forget to give it a big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel down below, and click that little bell button so you're notified every time I post a video. All the links to my social medias are listed down below, so definitely check me out on there. I love you guys so much, and I'll talk to you in my next video. Bye!